In this problem, we're asked to sketch the graph of a piecewise function. This is a piecewise function because the value of the function is different depending on which value of x we're trying to plug in. So let's play around with this a bit. Let's do a little warm-up. So for example, if I want to find the value of the function if x is -3, the first thing I would do is look at which of these three categories -3 falls into. Is -3 less than -2? Is its absolute value of -3 less than 2? Or is -3 greater than 2? And obviously we know that it matches the first requirement. So because x here, x equals -3, is less than -2, the value of the function is defined to be 3. If instead we were wanting to find the value of the function at 1, the absolute value of 1 is less than 2, which means that this function is going to be defined to be -1 plus 1 or 0. One thing to keep in mind, this notation here, absolute value less than or equal to 2, means that x has to be sandwiched between -2 and 2. So based upon this observation, we see that the domain of this function is all real numbers, but the domain is split up into 3 pieces, which means that our graph is also going to be split up into 3 pieces. So let's think of the graph of this function. Let's start with the first condition. X is less than -2. So all values x less than -2. So all this stuff over here, the graph is going to have the y value of 3. So if all values less than 2, it's going to look like the y value 3. Except it won't be defined to be 3 at -2, so we need to leave a little hole there. Between -2 and 2, the value of the function is defined by -x plus 1. -x plus 1 is a line, its graph is a line, y-intercept is 1, and the slope is -1. So it goes up 1, over 1, there's another point. Up 1, over 1, there's another point. And so this function's graph is going to look like a line for values between -2 and 2. And then after 2, the function is going to be defined by -3. So if x is less than 2, its value is going to be, if x is greater than 2, its value is going to be -3. And now notice that there's a jump here. If we wanted to find the value of the function at 2, we have to be a little bit careful. Notice that if x is equal to 2, that falls into the middle category, so the value of the function at 2 is the value of the function along that line, which is -1. So that's why we put a solid dot here and an open dot at -3 to show that the value is not -3 when x equals 2.